Okay.
My name is Milton Long. I am a 91-year-old veteran of World War II. My serial number 34516469. And I was inducted into the Army in the 1st of December 1942 as a 20-year-old. My basic training was at Camp House near Gainesville, Texas, with the 84th Infantry Division. The 84th Infantry Division was known as the Abraham Lincoln Rail Splitters Division. I was placed in an artillery battery with the 105 millimeter guns. We were in direct support of the infantry. I was in an A battery, 909th Field Artillery Battalion. The gun batteries had 4 guns, and there was 3 gun batteries per battalion. There would be 4 battalions per division artillery regiment. My place was in the signal section of the battery. My particular job was to receive the fire missions that came down from Battalion Fire Mission Control by telephone. I gave the fire mission to the gunnery officer, who in turn gave them to the gun crews. When they was ready to fire the guns, I reported that back to Fire Mission Control at Battalion. I then would tell the gunnery officer when it was time to fire the guns. My rating at that time was corporal, technician, 5th grade. And we did extensive training both in Texas and Louisiana until September 1944. Then we packed up and boarded a ship and sailed to England. While in England, I was able to get a 24-hour pass into London. That was a good experience. Then the division got back together with all of our equipment and headed across the English Channel, up through France and Holland, and engaged Hitler's army at the border of Germany. Our combat was in 3 phases: the Siegfried Line, the Battle of the Bulge, and the final defeat of Germany. We fought about a month through the Siegfried Line to the Ruhr River, which was a rough road to follow, not only because of the enemy, but it was a lot of rain and mud and water, and there was no bathing and no showers. However, one time they did truck us back into Holland, and we were able to get a good hot shower. Oh, did that feel good. We were preparing to cross the Ruhr River when the Germans made the breach down in Belgium, which is known as the Battle of the Bulge. The 84th was ordered to pack up and immediately head to Marsh, Belgium. The mission was to go there, dig in, and hold at all cost. That meaning no retreating, that is, fighting to the last man. Our division commander sent out orders when we got in position and ready to do battle that we did not come here to dig a hole, get in, and hold. We came here to fight, and fight we did day and night for 2 weeks in the little town of Belgium. There were times that the German army would be on one side of the street in buildings, the Americans on the other side of the street in buildings, and that's where the term combat from house to house came to be. Now, while we were there in Marsh, it was during the Christmas of 1944. And I would like to tell you the story of a little Belgian girl named Rosa. My battery headquarters was always needed to be in a house or in a basement, a place where we could have some light. But we chose this house that had a great room. It consisted of the kitchen, the dining area, and the living area of the room. The living area is where we set up our command post. I was always with the command post. The family was a grandfather, a grandmother, a daughter, and a granddaughter, which was little Rosa, and she was 13 years old. Little Rosa's father had been killed by the Germans. Now this was around the 21st of December, just before Christmas. In the 4 years that Germany had been occupying Belgium, they had had no Christmas. And this was going to be the 5th year that little Rosa would have no Christmas. So I began to wonder what I could do to get her just one little present for Christmas. So 2 or 3 days prior to Christmas Day, we servicemen received our PX rations, and in those rations were extras for Christmas, such as different kinds of candies, gums, and mints. I thought this could be a present for little Rosa. So I took all my candies. I asked some of my fellow soldiers to share some of theirs. So they did, and I had a little Christmas present for Rosa. On Christmas Eve, I found a little box, and I put the candies in it, the gums and the mints, but I had no Christmas paper to wrap it in. Then on Christmas morning, when little Rosa came to the great room, I handed her the little unwrapped box with a Merry Christmas. She looked in and saw all of these different candies. You should have seen the joy and the smile on her face. It also brought joys and smiles to my face too. Soon after that, we had to move on. I gave them my father's address and asked them if they would like to write to my dad and tell him I was in their home. Now, during the Battle of the Bulge, it has been defined as the hardest battle fought in the entire war. The casualties on the Allied side was about 80,000, that is, killed, wounded, and captured. On the German side is estimated to be about 100,000 killed, captured, and wounded. And it also was the costliest battle of all the battles. The battle lasted for about 3 weeks or more. I saw and was in enough snow and ice to last a lifetime. It was so cold. After the Bulge, it was back to our former position in Germany. From the Ruhr River to the Elbe, where we linked up with the Russian army. For us, the war was over, but my division remained there in Germany for 8 more months in the occupation forces. That's another experience. Then in January 1946, we boarded a ship and headed for home. I was discharged with the rank of Staff Sergeant. After many years, when I got home, my father finally handed me the letter that little Rosa had written to him. And it also had a photo of her. That letter has been a treasured item for me down through the years. And I'd like to show you the picture of little Rosa. This is the letter. After 68 years, they're both just as good as they were when I received them. I thank you for this opportunity to share with you these experiences. That's it.